Hi everyone, Psycho Sorcerer here, and today on Psycho Theory we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of me giving you my opinion about some vague concept that we're going to think about just to get into that kind of philosophical space, we're going to be talking about a philosophical concept that I don't have a strong opinion on. Namely, we're going to be talking about Gnosticism and the Demiurge. Now, I'm not a Christian or a Gnostic, so I don't have any strong feelings one way or another on this theory, but it is a theory that gets brought up a lot amongst people who work as practitioners of magic, so I felt it was a good thing to bring up here, primarily so that we could speak about it in the comments.
Gnosticism is a modern term for the collection of ancient religions whose adherents shun the material world in favor of the spiritual world. Most often when we use the term Gnostic, we're referring to Gnostic Christianity, but not always. There are also Gnostic Luciferians and other forms of Gnosticism. Most commonly when talking about the Gnostic viewpoint, there is a belief in something called the Demiurge. The Demiurge, whose name was derived from a word meaning craftsman or artisan, is often believed to have played a role in the construction of the earth and possibly even the human race. To many Gnostics, the Abrahamic God, such as Yahweh or Allah, is in actuality the Demiurge. Unlike most modern Abrahamic thinkers, the Gnostics view the Demiurge as a sort of villain. Once pure souls were forced into human vessels and are now kept prisoner on this planet, according to many of their views. As such, the Demiurge is not the creator of our original souls, of our original selves, but rather of these bodies and this materialistic world that we find ourselves trapped in. To the Gnostics, this world is to be shunned, and the spiritual is to be sought. The Gnostics also believe in a grander deity that is above the Demiurge. This being, often called the One, is actually all of us and everything that exists. It is the true creator of all of our souls, life, thought, existence, etc. To them, this is God, and the Demiurge is a false god. In a sense, the Demiurge is a warden keeping us in prison and pretending to be our father. People who have sworn allegiance to the Demiurge have created churches and religious texts that merge the concepts of the true Father with the Demiurge, thus claiming that the Demiurge is himself the true Father. As a result, most Gnostics believe that organized religious institutions have got everything wrong. These institutions have been misinformed and unwittingly worship the Demiurge as if he was God. In a sense, to the Gnostics, they believe that the devil is posing as God, and that the various religions of the world are actually in honor to him. This leads me to the purpose in actually bringing all of this up. The theory that I want to pose today is, what if the Abrahamic God is real, and what if he is in actuality the bad guy? This is what the Gnostics believe. To put a little bit more meat into this conversation, I'd like to take a moment to talk about something called the archons. Many Gnostics believe that the angels and demons of the various religions are actually all the same type of being. These beings are called archons. According to one particular Gnostic sect, there were 7 archons that represented the different forces of the universe. Each held a relation to one of the 7 planets. Yaldabaoth was the leader of the archons, and some believe he was even the Demiurge himself. Also known as Saklas or Samael, he was represented by Saturn. Io, who is often revered by magicians, is represented by Jupiter. Sabaoth, who is spoken of in the Old Testament, is also represented by Mars. Astaphanos, a female archon often compared to Astarte, is represented by Venus. Adonaios, similar to the word Adonai for God, is represented by the Sun. Elaios, whose name is similar to the word Elohim, is represented by Mercury. And lastly, Horaios, who is often compared to Horus, is represented by the Moon. These 7 archons can appear in many forms, and often serve the Demiurge in one manner or another. The same sect also spoke of 5 rebellious archons, whose names were Paraplex, Hecate, Arioth, Typhon, and Iactanabas. If what the Gnostics believe is true, then not only are the Abrahamic religions fooled, but also many magicians are fooled into working with these archons. Some may work with the rebellious archons, while others work with those in league with the Demiurge. So what are your thoughts on all of this? For me personally, this doesn't change very much. The idea that perhaps there's a false deity pretending to be the Abrahamic God really doesn't make a difference in any of my working, and the idea that the entities I work with could be archons really doesn't change the way that things work. That said, I'm not Christian, and I don't have any kind of a belief structure based around Christianity, so these things just sound like wild speculation to me. But there are many out there who find value in this information, or at least the thoughts that it provokes. And one thing that does trouble me about it is the idea that we are prisoners here on this planet. It's not something that I've believed before, but thinking about it makes an odd sort of sense that kind of troubles me. So what are your thoughts? Are the archons real? Is the demiurge real? Is the God of the Bible really just a pretender, taking the place of the real God? Are gods real at all? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and sharing it on social media. If you'd like to stay updated with my latest videos, please click subscribe. If you have a comment or question, please feel free to leave it below or on my Facebook page. And if you'd like to see some of my previous work, check out Psycho Sorcerer channel on YouTube. If you're interested in learning about the occult, I've got an over 35-part lecture series. You can reach that by clicking on the video in the top left. I've also got an ongoing series on the ancient gods and how they're called upon in magic. If you're interested in that, that's in the top right. I've got a series on theories from conspiracies to big questions in the bottom left, and tips for a better life through magic in the bottom right. If you can't click on any of these videos because you're on a phone or tablet that doesn't support it, you can always go to my channel and check out the playlist section. I've got everything broken down into playlists there. There's also an additional playlist of me making a complete fool of myself doing various pop culture things, including pretending to be a character that's what pop culture thinks a sorcerer would be. As always, I thank you for your support, and until next time, safe travels.